Hello, welcome to my channel, Wing Spiritual Clarity. My name is Wendy Wing. I'm doing a reading for Virgo. Welcome, Virgo. So, this is a general reading. I'm not tuning into one person's specific energies. I'm tuning into the collective energy of Virgo. So, take what resonates and leave the rest. Not all messages are for you. If I say something and it doesn't resonate, then maybe that message is for someone else. All right, Virgo. In the past, you had the energy of tower, disruption. Towers are fated events. When something has been built on an uneven foundation, on a foundation that can't support further growth. Chaos, disruption. Wow. Okay. Okay. Virgo. This is in the past energy. How I'm reading this is that in the past, you didn't realize your worth and value. You didn't realize the value that you had in your abundance, in your nurturing, in your giving nature, that you're someone who would take action and make things happen. Someone who is evolving and growing, someone who's been through a lot. So they also had a lot to offer. In the past, I feel like there was someone who came along. They seemed like a dream come true. But because you had a chronic habit of undervaluing yourself and not seeing your worth, maybe you suffered from some low self-esteem, a lack of confidence, that you thought that this person had a lot to offer. But there was a mismatch. This person was not they had a portion, an aspect of equality. And it feels like you might have seen their potential of what they could become. It feels like you were more tuning into the potential of who they could become once they mature. However, it feels like you're tuning into their potential created a scenario where they never felt good enough, where you were always wanting them to show up as more, because you have so much of who you are. You have so many skills and talents. You might have even put this person in a more authoritative role over your life, someone who did not have as much as you do, who's more immature, who's not as eager to grow and evolve and change, someone who is just slower. They're they're very different. They're not, it feels like you're very interested in evolution and changing and evolving who you are and growing something. And this is someone who just is not on the same level. They're not a bad person. It's just you both have very different views of what you want out of life and what you can give. And it feels like it created a dynamic where both of you, there just wasn't a love in this connection, or it just, there was a diminishing returns on the love in this connection, and ended up being very an empty, it wasn't what you expected it to be, because you were so, it feels like you were very attached to the potential this person had and not the reality of who they are. On some level, I feel like this person could tell that you wanted them to be something bigger and better and further along than what they could give. And this might have created a resentment, and maybe they resented you right back. Maybe they also were a little jealous of what you had to offer. Maybe they projected their weaknesses onto you. Wow, it feels this feels like a connection that might have been when you were younger or less mature, both of you. And so it doesn't feel like anybody, that this connection was done out of some kind of, it just feels like you both thought this was a good match, and for what you knew at the time, it was. However, when you realized that this person will never be the person that you want them to be, that they are who they are. They're someone with a lot of great potential, but the mix is not good, or they need to want that for themselves. That's what it is. Just because you see the potential in them does not mean that they're motivated and want that for themselves. And this caused an incredible tower in this relationship. I feel like a Band-Aid was ripped off, and realizing that you might be used to each other and comfortable with each other. You might be needing each other or addicted, codependent on each other, but there's no love left. And I feel like when you realized that there's no love in this relationship, it caused a huge tower, that this relationship is not what you thought it was. It's a huge tower. Painful, but necessary, because it feels like this tower kept you from continuing to pour your time and energy into a connection that's fanciful, that's delusional, that's based on potential and not reality of what they want and out of their life. All right, in present time, Virgo, you are in the energy of deception and envy. 7 of Swords. It's an unmasking. Seeing someone without their mask, taking someone's mask off. Maybe you're taking your mask off. Maybe You're seeing others' masks. Seven of Swords, Eight of Swords. Two of Swords in reverse. Wow. So really, right now, Virgo, you are definitely in your thoughts, in your mental body. Feels like you have been doing a lot of shadow work. You have been willing and able to unmask yourself, to see the truth of situations, to see conflict. And so there's something in this present energy where you've seen deceptiveness, trickery, sneakiness, someone trying to get away with something. I think in the past, you would not know what to do with the energy of truth. Feeling like you're a victim to others' deceptions. Feeling like trapped by just so much deception and deceptive energy and lies around you. And it feels like, I know in this image of the Eight of Swords, that this person has blinders on, like an unwillingness to look and see the truth. I get the feeling like there's also like a gag, like an unwillingness to confront people who are in this deceptive energy. That you just stayed in this, I don't know what to do. I'm just, people take advantage of me. It just victim mentality. There's something that happened recently in your energy. I'd say in the last couple of weeks, maybe the last couple months, something where someone deceived you, someone where they tricked you, someone where they lied, took advantage of you. You're trying to figure out how to handle this differently, how to not be in a mental prison about this, how to stand up for yourself, how to work with this energy without being a victim. It feels very like I'm not sure. I'm not sure how to do this. I'm used to freeze, fawn, flight, but it feels like you haven't had a lot of fight in you, or knowing how do you call this person out? How do you make this right? How do you step into your power? King of Swords. Wow. Sword, sword, sword. Mental body. Whatever this situation is, stay in your honesty. Stay in your truth. Your truth. You're willing to speak just honestly about, without amplifying it, exaggerating, just staying with the truth. Be honest. Be very clear. There's something very important about knowing your truth, speaking your truth, staying out of your emotions as best you can, and be detached from some type of result. like not needing them to be punished for their lie or trickery, but not needing some specific outcome. I feel like this is an exercise that is most important, that you see your light and you allow others to see your light as well. See the light of truth, see your honesty. It is less about the outcome. Feel like the outcome might be around neediness, needing it to be a certain way so your ego feels good. And really, this is the universe wanting you to see your own light, see the light of truth, and communicate it as clearly as possible. And that by doing this, you are creating a wish come true. You are, it feels like this, the outcome of this, without needing it to be a certain way, it might happen completely differently than how you're hoping and expecting. It feels like it could be better by detaching from, I have no idea how this is going to turn out. I'm detached. However, I'm going to follow this through. I'm going to see my light. I'm going to speak my truth and see what happens. I know in the past, I've taken on a victim mentality and I have let people deceive me. I've let people walk all over me with their lies and deception. And I'm going to try something new. I'm going to see my light. I'm going to speak from my truth and stay in my mental body and not get overly emotional. And there's something very gratifying that comes from this. Wow. Wow. All right. All right, Virgo, in the center of your reading is Ace of Wands, Passion Ignites. This is your higher self. So sometimes I see this, and this card's been coming up in the readings the last several days at least. So it could be something passionate, as in a passionate new beginning, as in something fiery and hot and steamy and schmexy with someone else. It also could be passion ignited, as in something that you're very excited about, something that, a project or something that you want to work on. Boy, it's all about your mental body. Not all, but a lot of this reading is about working with your mental body. Okay, all right. So what I'm getting, I think this was very similar to Capricorn had a very similar message. They probably, I think they had Passion Ignited as well. And there's something about when you get into this fiery energy, when someone shows up and you are so attracted to them, you feel that fire between you, you feel that attraction, that you have a tendency to throw yourself completely into that situation, relationship, into that person. And it creates a disregard for consequences, creates this restless and unfocused. It's like you can't focus on anything else. They become like an object of obsession. And you lose your direction. It feels like you lose some of your path, like what you want to do in life other than this person. Feels like once you have that fire ignited with someone, that you forget everything else. And so there's an invitation to create clear boundaries, clear, healthy boundaries for yourself and for this type of relationship. To be, it feels like a tendency to create codependency, to kind of your energies come together and then you lose whose energy is what in this enmeshment, instead of like an interdependent where you can be independent energies and then come together, but you're still individuals enjoying that energy. You haven't lost each other and lost your energy. You're able to move and go about life and follow your path, become a better person independently, or whatever your path and your desires are. It's about creating clear boundaries, truth, direct communication, being honest about how you are feeling and how you are perceiving things. I get the feeling that at times you've been afraid to communicate directly for fear of losing the person. So like a fearful or anxious attachment style, instead of knowing that your truth, you can't lose yourself in a relationship any longer. You're wanting to be able to show up as an independent being and choosing each other every day instead of needing each other. There's some beautiful little shift there. It's something about, I think, why this is coming up right now, this relationship in the past, and then whatever this situation is in present time, it feels like it's all preparing you for, some of you might already know who this is, this new passion ignited. And for some of you, it depends on what timeline. Some of you, I feel, are like, oh yeah, I know who that is. It is steamy and hot. And some of you are getting ready for this. Yeah, okay. Your challenge right now is love begins, Ace of Cups. So you've got that Ace of Wands, that passionate energy, and love begins. Wow. Feels very fated, that you needed that tower. You needed to break up and figure out and heal from this past relationship. So, and then whatever this current energy and deception, there's something to like make sure that you're learning some lessons before you connect with this new connection. Your challenge is Ace of Cups. Some of you might feel discouraged and insecure around love and your emotions, because this relationship in the past where you realize there was no love and how heartbreaking this is. It feels like you have then gone into your mental body. You're feeling much more comfortable in your mental body and Maybe your emotions are still feeling hurt. Maybe there's a not trusting with emotions. Your challenge is to open that heart space, to allow yourself to love again. That grief and shattered dreams, the disconnection that happened from like a broken family of a breakup, has just left you emotionally very depleted and fearful of giving that love, of receiving love, of trusting love. This person in this past connection, you had some misaligned values. You really wanted them to be more than who they really are. And just because you can tune into their potential does not mean that that is something that they want within themselves. By even that pressure of, I'll love you if you are like this. I don't feel you ever said that, but on some energetic level, they felt like almost rebellious that they didn't want to become that, because they wanted to be loved for who they are, not who they can become. Right now, you might be a bit defensive, like I feel a guarding of your heart. It's going to take courage to open that heart space up. I feel like in the past, you might have led with passion, sexual desire for someone, feeling that fiery hot energy, and then see if it leads to love. What I'm getting now with your energy is that you're really in your mental body. You're really wanting to protect yourself. I'm seeing a change where there's a lot of communication, a lot of speaking your truth, a lot of seeing if you can fall in love with their mind, to get to know their values. And then it feels like instead of a bottom up, so starting with sexual energy first, and to see if you fall in love with them, and then realizing, oh wow, we've got a lot of differences and different ways of seeing things. I feel like now you are more apt to be in that mental body and you know, do I love this person's mind? Do we share the same values? Can I hang out enough with this person to see if the things that they say match their actions? If what they say matches their actions? If they speak truths, or do they speak half truths? Do they omit truths? Do they feel uncomfortable communicating who they are? So working there, and then seeing if there is love there. So working from mental body, emotional body, and then allowing the passion. Feel just an option for some of you. It feels like a different way of connecting with a new person, instead of sexual, emotional, and then mental. Instead, it's mental, emotional, and then sexual. Ooh. Feels like you might still have a lot of high expectations for the people coming towards you, maybe some unachievable expectations. I'm saying not to, I'm not getting that you should lower your standards. I'm getting that as a way to protect your heart, you have created such high walls that nobody can get over them. So if you are looking for love, then being real about, is this expectation something true so I can find a mate, or is this some way to protect myself because nobody can achieve this? And so since nobody can achieve this level of meeting my expectations, then I will then therefore keep myself safe from getting hurt again. So, whew. All right, Virgo, that's your reading. I hope this was helpful. Take care. Bye.